What's up, everybody? Luther Allison once again coming at you with another lesson. And this time I would like to discuss a sound that was made pretty famous by a few musicians, one namely being McCoy Tyner, and that is quartal voicings, not to be mistaken for chordal, C-H-O-R-D-A-L, but instead Q-U-A-R-T-A-L. Very important delineation. So quartal voicings, it's in the name. It's basically building voicings and everything is in fourths. So if we're going to start with the F blues, and this is something you can reference a recording of McCoy Tyner entitled Passion Dance, where nearly the entire song is F, F7. Kind of a little bit of F sus in there. There are some other tonalities that you hear him experimenting with in the song, but generally speaking, F7, F sus sort of sound. So there's actually a scale that this is built on, and that scale is our dominant scale, also known as our Mixolydian scale. So if I were to play this scale starting on F, the only difference between that and the major scale is going to have an E natural. So our 7 and our 1 is going to be a half step away from each other. For this Mixolydian or dominant scale, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a flat 7. Now, if I start here in my left hand and I just build fourths, all based on that scale, right? Now, here, an interesting thing happens, because like I mentioned, we're building it based on the scale. Because if we were to just keep playing in fourths from here, right, which is also a really, really nice sound, you can keep going up with that, right? Really interesting sound, but we're staying within the sound of this A natural. There's something about that tritone that opens it up quite a bit, which is a really pretty sound. Going up a fourth from here, up another fourth from there. Now I have 6 notes, and I can practice going up the scale with this sound, right? Now, I would probably more commonly use, and even when I hear most other people play these sounds, I hear more often than not playing 5-note voicings. So we'll start with the melody of the scale at the very top, and we're just going to work our way down in fourths this time. So instead of building up, this time we're going to start up top, work our way down. And if you want for a little bit of reference, you can hit F in the bottom. And we're just going to work our way through that scale. Back down. Right? Now that one, I kind of still had a fourth voicing, but I added a couple little clusters in there. We'll get to some cluster stuff later. I have a lot of foreshadowing, as you can see, so hopefully you'll be excited to stick around for some of the other lessons. So anyways, this sound was a very significant tonality that McCoy Tyner contributed to this music. So if I were to play through a blues, and actually there's another sound that's very important as well, that's rooted in fourths, and this is a sound that you hear in Miles Davis's recording, So What?, which is almost all fourths. The only change is that you're going to have a third on the top. Now this time I'm in D. Now instead of it being F Mixolydian, now we're in D Dorian. Now, one cool thing about D Dorian, that's all the white keys of the piano. So it's very easy to move these sounds around here. And sometimes as I play through this stuff, I change the rhythm. Right? So you can use this same sound of these so what voicings and to bring it back to F. dominant. And as you can see, you're already seeing that there's two contexts that you can use these sounds in. Now there's more as well, but just to kind of think about the two, you can use it in a Mixolydian sound or dominant sound, but you can also use it over a Dorian or minor sound. So for example, for F, those so what voicings, breaking out into my fourths. Now, as you can see, there were some other little patterns that I started to throw in. For my G minor, using those so what voicings, going up a minor third, up another minor third, up another minor third. Maybe landing back in my F. So that's kind of a cool pattern that you can use to work your way back to that original tonality. Now another thing, as you can see with this, I was kind of pulling from that C minor, which means I can use all of this stuff in the key of C minor as well. Now that time, E flat major. It doesn't have to only be a Dorian sound. It doesn't have to only be a Mixolydian sound. You can use this over, I guess that's Ionian if we're being very specific about all these terms. And another really important thing is once you get these sounds down and you're comfortable playing it throughout the scale and in different keys, now trying to hear different melodies. Guida, wea, da, do. An easy way to practice playing it in over melodies is by playing it over the melody of the song. Now, a couple times I broke away from the initial sound of it, but to kind of stay within the sound. So we have. So in the context of comping, hearing some other melodies. Now there's some times where I'm stepping a little bit outside of that tonality. We want to make sure that as we play through some of these ideas that we have an idea and a general awareness of the melody that we're hearing in our own comping, and that it's not getting in the way too much of what other people are playing. Now, obviously, I'm playing solo piano right now, so I'm opening up probably a little bit more than I would with other musicians. But thinking of side slipping at times as well. All very important things. This is kind of a mixture of some of the stuff that we were talking about with our left hand voicings. And the cool thing about this song, we're just kind of going back and forth between this 1, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 2, 5, 1. So anyways, fourths. F7, I can use a lot of those same sort of sounds. And the beautiful thing about this is it's a very open and lush sound as well. Now sometimes, as you can hear, I'm adding a couple of other notes just to make it a little bit thicker and fuller. So if I have this sound, I might throw a 9 in there. I might also I'll find little places where maybe I can throw another small note just to make it a little bit more lush. Another context that I might use this over is over a sus chord, right? So maybe if I'm playing, let's move to A flat. So if I want to have a sus sound over A flat, if I use a minor 7, a fifth above the root, I can really use anything within that E flat now. And as you can see, I'm just playing this right down the scale. There's actually a recording, I think I played that as an intro on the track. All I did, I literally just played this, and I said, what's another thing that I can do rhythmically and melodically to make this a little bit more interesting, right? All I'm doing is playing each of these notes out melodically in the left hand. Not difficult, but your hand, it takes you a few times to get used to the shape and doing the same thing in your right hand. I'm just doing this, but I'm just starting with the bottom 2 notes first. If you keep the pedal down, now you have this very nice cascading sound. All fourths, very open. Why not play with it a little bit more? That time, what did I do? I don't know. There it is. I actually remembered, guys, because I actually didn't know the first time. A little bit of a beautiful tune entitled Duke Ellington's Sound of Love, composed by Charles Mingus, that I started playing at the end because I just got sidetracked. But anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Whenever you play through some of these exercises, find other interesting rhythmic things and melodic things that you can do to make it interesting to yourself. I'm also a drummer, so I'm always kind of thinking certain rhythms that I would just naturally kind of pat on my lap, just playfully thinking of rhythms as they come to me, thinking, well, what if I were to assign some notes to that and how would that sound? Right, right, left, 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 right, right, left. Now there's some other stuff that's happening in my fingers through there, but all over that A flat. E flat, Same thing, now it's minor. D flat. Same thing, now it's D flat major. B flat minor. Anyways, fourths. Play around with it. Hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next lesson.